Let's buy a clarinet today. Hi, welcome to Woodwind Ninja. My name's Jay. Today, we're going to take a trip to the Buffet showroom in New York City and buy a clarinet. I feel fortunate that I live in New York City and I have a wonderful clarinet shop to go to. It is indeed my favorite clarinet shop that I've ever been to. I've bought a number of instruments there for myself and for students. Let me be clear, I in no way have ever received any money from Buffet. I've got no relationship with the Buffet showroom other than my deep love for it. So keep that in mind. These are just my feelings, and these are the reasons why I like to go to the Buffet showroom and why I like to play on their clarinets. The point of today's video is you're buying a new clarinet. What do you look for? How do you value things? How do you know that you're buying the right one? These are actually legitimately difficult questions to deal with. As I go over my process, let's take the trip down to the Buffet showroom together. We're coming from the Bronx. We're going downtown. We'll sit on the train, take a walk through the park. We'll have a nice time. I'll tell you all about what I think about how to pick out a clarinet. Now, the first thing I want to say is if you have a private teacher, take their advice. I'm going to give you some good ideas, but if you have someone close to you that is helping you and is there for you, please speak with them and get some ideas from them. And if you can, get them to go with you to help pick it out. That's going to be the best thing. The first thing you should do is decide what brand of clarinet you're going to buy. What are you going to look for? And I think that is the first question you should ask your teacher, or the first question you should ask yourself. If this is not your first clarinet, you've been through this before, why are you buying a new clarinet? What problems are you looking to solve? What's the deal? Why do you want a new clarinet? Maybe it's just time. Maybe you're looking to replace it with exactly what you already have. There can be all sorts of reasons. I think there's lots of different brands of clarinets that are really terrific. You know, I've been playing in New York City for a long time. I've seen Buffets, Summers, Bakun, Yamaha, Ubel, kind of a new player in the American clarinet market now. I've seen them all, played very successfully, very beautifully. They are all good instruments. For me, what I play is a Buffet. What I recommend for my students who are getting their first professional clarinet is an R13. I believe that is the center of the clarinet world and the thing that we judge brightness or darkness and response. And if we're talking about this clarinet responds this way, we are indeed comparing that, I believe, unconsciously to an R13. I think they're beautiful instruments. I think in a lot of ways they're the standard of the clarinet world still. 20 years ago, definitely. And they haven't changed, but there are a lot of companies who have really stepped up and started to make high-quality student and professional clarinets. For today, we're going to the Buffet showroom because we're buying a clarinet for a student of mine, and I want them to have an R13. There is no better place to get one than the Buffet showroom. Now, if you're somewhere else in the world and you need to get your hands on a professional clarinet, there are a few ways to go about it. There probably is a local music store. I would suggest if you can get to a store that stocks a lot of clarinets, you should go there. Having them all in one place is really an asset. And how many should there be for you to try it out? Well, I guess they have one, but if you haven't ever purchased a professional clarinet, that's not a big enough sample size. I would say if you could get 10, that would be great. A lot of smaller stores that sell a lot of things, a lot of musical supplies, can't afford to stock 10 of every professional instrument, saxophones, clarinets, flutes. There's all sorts of different brands. There's all sorts of different instruments. And it is just a reality that oftentimes they're not able to have many of each example of every instrument in their store. And that can be a challenge. it's unlikely that your local music store would have 10 of the brand of the clarinet you're looking for. That would be highly unusual. So it could be that it's a matter of ordering them. A long time ago, you could order 3. I think you could send them all back. But there was a limit on how many you could order at a particular time. And that does create some complications. And it is for that reason, these complications, the lack of open availability of clarinets to try. I think it's really important to have a plan when you go to purchase a clarinet. A plan can really, really help. You need your clarinet. You need your reeds. You definitely need your mouthpiece. If you're buying a professional clarinet for the first time, you might be surprised that they don't come with mouthpieces. And even if they did, you should play on the one you're used to, because that's how you're going to best be able to gauge if you like that clarinet. You need to have your equipment there. That's really, really important. When you get to the shop, or when the clarinets come to your house, it's really important to be warmed up in that space. If you go to a store, you're going to be put in a room that you've never played in before. It's going to possibly be a different temperature than you're used to. You really should. You'd be doing yourself a favor to warm up just like you would at home on your own clarinet. It's kind of exciting to have all those clarinets around, so playing your own clarinet seems kind of a little bit boring, but it's going to set you up to make a good decision. So warm up on your own clarinet. Do what you would do on any day. Make sure your reed's good. Get in a place that you know. And then my suggestion is to play every clarinet there. Play them and don't really think too much about it. What I would suggest you do is get a gut reaction to it. I like it, I don't like it. If you like it, put it over here. If you don't like it, put it over here. If you don't like it, there's really not much to do. The ones that you like, if there's a few of them, that's really good. If there's more than a few of them, that's even better. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to take a different approach. We're going to find out if those clarinets are going to work with you in the long term. And that is figuring out the pitch tendencies, any sort of resistance oddities. You know, does it play the same way in the low register, in the chalumeau, to the clarion, to the altissimo? What are the resistance differences? And how do you feel about that? And we need to test the tone, the articulation, and the pitch. So what I suggest is you play the 12ths with the register key. The most important ones to me are low E to B, low F to C. Those are important. They're all important, but those are the most important. And the other ones I feel are super important or exactly an octave above that. E on the first line up to B, and then F in the first space up to C. Now, when you get there, these clarinets aren't going to be in perfect playing condition. They can be a little bit out of sorts because no one's really taken the time to love them the way they deserve to be loved. The scale might be a little uneven because of that. But what we really should figure out is, are those 12ths too spread? Particularly on a buffet clarinet. That, I find, is the determining factor of how in tune is this instrument. How much am I going to struggle to play it the way that I want to? The truth of the matter is, I think any of us can make a lot of clarinets sound beautiful. The question then becomes, how much is that going to take of us? So I don't think that the best thing to do is to say, how beautiful can I make this clarinet sound? Because you probably can make it sound beautiful. But it can be difficult to determine how much work that is. So if we look at it this way, I play a low E with my eyes closed. Tuner on my stand with the meter going. I open my eyes, I see where it is. I close my eyes, I press the register key. I open my eyes and I see where that B is. And I write it down. I note how far that is spread. It's going to be a little bit. Then I'm going to do the same thing. Close my eyes, play a low F. Open my eyes. Look at the tuner. Close my eyes. Press the register key. Open my eyes. Where's that C? Write that down. Because right now, I am not trying to make the clarinet sound beautiful. I'm trying to get information on what this clarinet will do if I don't do anything. I do the same thing an octave above. Truthfully, I check out all the 12ths. I find the other 12ths to be more adjustable when your clarinet gets a repair technician involved. Things work better. Key heights can be adjusted. It can all be adjusted in a way that these particular 12ths can't. So that's why I'm focusing on these. So I do that. Lots of eye closing and eye opening, looking at a tuner. If you've watched my tuning video, I don't suggest looking at a tuner very often. This is one of the rare exceptions where I'm not trying to use my ears. I'm trying actually to avoid using my ears so that I don't help any of these clarinets. I want these clarinets to earn their place in my life by showing me what they can do without my help. The next thing I do is I play a whole tone scale. I play both of them. One starting on E, one starting on F. If you don't know about a whole tone scale, it is just whole steps. E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C, D, E. One whole tone scale. The other one is F, G, A, B, C sharp, E flat, F. That's how I think of it. There's only two of them, so take some time. Do the same thing. Close your eyes. Play an E. Open your eyes. See where it is. Close your eyes. Move up to F sharp. Open your eyes. See where it is. Close your eyes. Move up to G sharp. Open your eyes. And so on and so on. What this does is it takes you away from your major scale trained ears, and it gives you intervals that you're not going to slot in the normal way that you would when you're playing music. And this will tell you if your clarinet is going to, that's where your note really is, because you're not moving it around in the same way that you would if you were playing diatonic music. And that can be really, really helpful in figuring out where the notes naturally set on this particular instrument. And keep in mind, some of them can be adjusted, some of them can't. So you have that. When you find the best one, and really honestly, getting familiar with this on the instrument that you play can also be very helpful, because sometimes when you do this, it seems like everything is too far out to even be conceivably playable. But check on what you're already playing and what you've sounded good on already, and you'll find that it's not quite as dramatic as you might think. That is to say, you've been dealing with these things already. It's part of playing the clarinet. If you have one or two clarinets that you feel like are right there, you liked them when you played them first. You had an intuitive feeling about it. And then you gave them a test that was completely objective. Great. Whoever passed the test, that could be your clarinet. But now, if you have more than one clarinet in the yes pile, then you play them again. And when I say, do you like your clarinet? Even the first time, play stuff you know. Play stuff you love. Play stuff that's too hard. Play your hardest excerpt. Play your most beloved excerpt. Play the song your mom used to sing to you when you were a kid. Anything. Things that you love, things that you know. Things that you particularly know on your old clarinet. That way you can get a real sense of what this clarinet will do. I would also suggest doing some articulation in the low register, in the shallow mode, in the clarion register with the register key pressed, and also up in the altissimo. Get a feeling for how if I push, all that kind of stuff. Because when you're working on Mendelssohn Midsummer Night's Dream, you're going to want some even resistance as you articulate. And then once you sort of figure that out, which at this point you're gonna be holding some clarinets that are going to be pretty good for you. Keep in mind, as you're doing it, there might be a repairman or repairwoman, or probably better said, technician, standing across the room. And if you have a question, like, could you work on this a little bit? I'm not sure this is quite right. They will help you. At least they should help you. And that will give you an even better sense. And that's pretty much the process. And then you can come up with an instrument that you know and you love. I do think that this is a buffet-specific process for me. If I were buying a different instrument, I would have to assess what I think the intuitive part of it and the objective part of it, how do those match up? What am I looking for? What am I testing for? That's a little bit different. I'm not suggesting this for every clarinet that the 12ths are the issue. I have found that to be the thing on an R13. I think the truth is a clarinet can have some of its problems solved, but not all of them, because it's an instrument. And I think that's probably true of all instruments. I really only know a lot about woodwinds, but I'm sure that when you solve one problem, you create another one. And so you've got to figure out on the brand instrument that you're choosing and the model of that particular brand family, what is the thing that's kind of been sacrificed a little bit, because truthfully, I have never played a clarinet where one problem has been solved without another problem being created. That I'm pretty sure of. The people that have made those instruments don't really put it that way. And why would they? Now you have your first professional wood clarinet. Let me tell you some things. You should have a care plan for it. It's going to take a little bit more love and kindness than your plastic clarinet did. So if this is your first wood professional clarinet, you should have humidifiers. I believe you should be bore oil in it. I will go over this in an entirely separate video so that you at least know what to research and what to think about and what to look for to make sure that your clarinet stays in very, very good condition. It's important that you know that these instruments can crack, and there are things that you can do to help that not happen, and it is caring for it properly. But until you have somebody tell you that you should have that question, how would you know? We're going to address that in another video. In any case, congratulations. You have a new clarinet. So this clarinet is going to a student who always does good work, and I'm thrilled that he is going to have this clarinet, and I'm honored that he and his family trusted me to pick it out on their behalf. I had a great time. There is no better place to pick out a clarinet than the Buffet showroom. And quite honestly, there are a few places I'd rather be. I go to the Buffet showroom all the time just to say hi. I like it so much. So, enough. I love them there, and they treated me very well on this day, and I really, really appreciate it. So there you go. If you have any questions, concerns, thoughts about picking out a clarinet, if I can be any help to you, I will. Email me, woodwindninjaj@gmail.com. If you have any other questions, there's nothing more I love than talking about woodwinds, clarinet, saxophone, flute, anything you want to talk about there. I got time. Be well.